won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money. Find us at Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. The best place to catch all that last-minute information, trends and angles, cash flow splits, injury reports, weather conditions, and everything else that goes under the sun to help you guys make winning sports bets. And that's what we're here to do tonight. Nice card lined up tonight, as if I do say so myself. It's a small card, but that just means that we have time to focus in on the card, and focus in I did today. I think we've got some fun on deck here. We've got a player prop parlay. That's the triple P that we'll pop the show off with here, and it's in the NHL. It's 3 legs, 3 of them. Pays out like 6-1. So we're going to start there. We're going to fire away on that triple P parlay. We've got the Sabres and the Senators in a battle royale. Chicago Blackhawks and the St. Louis Blues will battle for the game 2 that we'll cover. Game 3, I did add Florida and Detroit. Since there's a small card, I looked at a play I really like. And fuck it, we got all the NHL games tonight, right? That's what we're going to do here. We'll finish it off with Calgary and the Utah Mammoth. Should still have been the Yeti, in my opinion. But it's okay. It's okay. Just finishing one last thing, so bear with me as we get this show on the road. Had a pretty good night last night. Little bounce back spot that we talked that we needed. We were due for a bounce back spot. And we're going to grind. Going to have some ups, going to have some downs. Got to go with the ebbs and the flows of the business. And we all know that. We all know how this shit works, right? We're not new to the game in any stretch of the way. So, that being said, I'm excited. I'm excited for what we have ahead of us here. This week's getting busy. Tonight, expect to see Sean Fox show is going to pop off, the betting throwdown. We're going to move that. It's going to go up to 7 p.m. tonight. 7 p.m. tonight. So we're going to get out of here early so that you guys have time to go check our guy out, get your bets in, and get ready to go for the live betting throwdown with Sean Fox. We will have first strikeout tonight. We'll be shooting with the MMA combat correspondence. I got myself all excited trying to think of that one. Subhuman Gaucho, MMA Jeff, and I will be sharing our 3 fights that we like for trying to beat the books, trying to get some CLV. Swept the board last week. So you do not want to miss out on these picks. Of course, the VB MMA picks and Ramon Scott show already out there for you guys with 3 fights of their own. So we're starting to build up a little arsenal of options here for you guys to get ready to attack this weekend. And we will be live, of course, tomorrow for the big Thursday night football game. I think they said, is it the first time ever that 2 quarterbacks post 40 years old will meet together in a primetime game? So it'll be Joe Flacco. It'll be Aaron Rodgers. Is that just weird to think about? And Aaron Rodgers will be playing for the Steelers, and Joe Flacco will be playing for the Bengals. It's just kind of gives me one of those, whoa, dude. Anyhow, we'll have Thursday night football action here live with you guys. Friday, we'll do the shows 9 a.m. and 6 p.m., the morning steam and pre-gaming. Then we roll into Saturday, and Saturday's card for the UFC starts at 4 p.m. So we'll probably get on here around 3:30 or so, get ready for a big night of action in the UFC Vancouver. Bringing us into Sunday. We'll talk some NFL on Saturday. You know the deal. You know what we do. We talk about it all. We live bet. We sweat. We'll have action going in college football, MLB, maybe even some NBA at this point with some preseason action. Who knows? We'll see what that looks like for us as we get there. But I do know, as we start out of every show, transparency is the most important thing. Need to stand on our business, whether we win or we lose. Yesterday we won. Yesterday, we picked up over 3 units of profit. Just grinding. Just daily grinders. You guys know the deal here. Some guys want to make one shot, one kill. We're not snipers. We're not fucking lion hunting in Africa. We're here trying to cast a wide net, find winning bets, and maximize the opportunities that we're up while we minimize the opportunities we are down. We did finish down in the New Mexico State Liberty game. I did, however, add the plus 11.5. So I talked myself into it. Thought the wrong team was favored. I thought New Mexico State was going to win that game, man. I think that was plus 500 or something like that, 450. So we went 1-1 in that spot. That's okay. That keeps us in the flow. We lost Seattle. What a shit power play call in overtime. You can't call that. That was so objective and sloppy. And we lose 5-4 in that Montreal-Seattle game. So I thought we were going to have that one, man. Plus 135. Edmonton busted up the Rangers. Rangers get shut out again. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus, what are you going to do? I mean, 2 goals, 2-0. Took a shot for the team total. Not going to not try those things. I just feel like, and maybe I capped this a little bit when it came to my player prop parlay that I'll share with you guys tonight, but doesn't it kind of feel like it's almost like, well, I like the team and they should win the game, but it's too pricey, so I'm going to take the team total over. That's probably a losing bet. In hindsight, that's probably a losing bet. I've heard quite a few people kind of rationale. I can't lay a minus 170. So, and I'm not saying you should, but I'm just saying I can't lay a minus 170. So I'll take your team total over 3.5. I did that last night. We took the L. We did win the Capitals game. 3-2 was a big victory for us in Washington. Dallas game over. Not your daddy's Dallas Stars anymore. For that matter, Minnesota Wild as well. 5-2 final. Got that over 6 in that game. And the Penguins with a heartbreaker to the Ducks. Look, I lost. And, you know, the thing for me and why I don't sit there and sweat on every single opportunity is you got to bet size appropriately. And I cast a wide net. So it's not like one play is going to make or break. On the other side, if you bet the Ducks last night, that was not a good bet. Minus 150 at home was not a good bet. They won that game, what, 4-3? Okay. I mean, it cashed. And so don't mistake what I'm saying. It's just like laying the Mammoth on the road as a minus 160. This is not a good bet. You got to make good bets. And I don't mean beating lines and shit like that. There's no trophies for CLV. We've shown you beat the line in the NFL. It don't matter. The line don't matter in the NFL this season. So you got to make good bets. Now, baseball. We made 2 good bets in baseball. We got the Dodgers in the under. Again, it's got some ridicule for it. Why is the line so low? Well, I told you why the line was low. Yamamoto got busted up the last time. Now, we took Yamamoto over 16.5 outs. Yamamoto went 27 outs. So we cashed in that Yamamoto player prop spot. So those are some good highlights. Also, we got the Western Kentucky under. I did say in that one the wrong team was favored. The wrong team was favored. That was 25-6. So I said it twice. Yes, we went 1-1. New Mexico State should have won that fucking game. They were up at the end. But it is what it is. So that's the way that particular cookie happens to crumble. God damn, though, there were some close ones. You know, like, if you bet the Ducks last night, listen, congratulations. I'm not talking about anybody particular in here. I just know that there's some talking heads that are like, it was always the Ducks. You know what? I'll take a Seattle Kraken 5-4 loss in overtime on a shit call because it was a plus 135. More so than I'd feel good about cash in Montreal minus 165. I lost a unit. You made 0.35 units. At least I had the balls to go for a big swing. So anyhow, some good stuff in the chat from you guys tonight. So we got a fully loaded deck here this evening, and I'm ready to fire. I'm excited. I'm excited for what's on deck here, as I mentioned. And again, 7 p.m., Sean Fox will pop the top on his betting throwdown tonight. You'll hear from Sean Fox He'll give you guys the best bets that he's got for the evening. He wants to get going, give you his player props that he's looking to attack with out there tonight. 2 college football games, 1 Major League Baseball game, and 4 NHL games on deck here for the evening. So without further ado, let's get to it, you guys. No need to sit around dilly-dally. I want to give you guys plenty of time to get these bets in. Want to make sure you guys are ready. Get your beverage of choice ready to go and hang out with Sean while he live bets the evening away. But before we do any of it, before we go anywhere, the most important thing to do is smash that thumbs up button to help us out. Help us grow the channel. Help us build the community. I want to grow the audience. 45 likes yesterday. A little disappointing. 239 views, 45 likes. I'm okay with the views. 6 o'clock. It's an hour before the fucking games go live, and there's no need to watch it at midnight. So unless you just want to come back and be an asshole and talk about the plays that I lost, or make sure that I'm accountable and talk about the plays that I won. We got to do a better job, guys. It is sports season. Boost these things up. If you haven't done so already, close the comment section, smash that thumbs up button, pop it back open. I'll give you a whole bunch of winners tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody here in the chat. You guys know the deal. It's that time. You got to drop your best bets in the chat. I want to read off what you guys are playing on the night. If there's something I missed, maybe I'm going to tell you because it is a light card. I am seeking action. But, this is one of them nights, and I'll kind of explain to you what I think we'll hear when we jump right into this parlay. But it's one of them nights where it's like you don't have a ton of games. There's not a ton of bullets to fire. But you can really swing big and minimize your risk opportunity because you're not overly invested across the rest of the card. Does that make sense? You picking up what I'm putting down? Because what I'm referencing, and I'll jump the hop here. I'll jump the order and put it out there so we can all see it. But this is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. We got games, we got plays, but we're not overstretched with only 6 or 7 games on the card tonight. Even if you bet on every single game, it's still not the traditional maybe 10 bets that are out there that I try to put on in the evening's betting card. And so we've got 1 unit to win over 6.25 units with a Tage Thompson goal, Dylan Gunther point, and Snuggerud. I still can't figure his name out. Snuggerud point as well. Gunther's averaging like 1.6 points per game. Utah Mammoth tonight, taking on the Calgary Flames. Snuggerud, St. Louis. He's averaging a point a game. He's been on fire. And Tage Thompson. Hard-working, fine young man. As bad as the Sabres are, he's got 18 shots in 3 games. Only one of them has gotten to the back of the net so far. So kind of feels like here in this effort situation, look, I expect the Sabres to win this game, and Tage Thompson should be the guy. He's firing the puck on the net and just hasn't gone through the back of the twine yet. So that'd be the case. Let's get after it, you guys, though. Let's get these plays in the chat. I'm going to leave that up there so you guys can take a look at it. Peruse, if you will. The goals for Buffalo and Tage Thompson. The point is for Gunther. And the points for Snuggerud. Just a point. Doesn't matter if they score or they get an assist. It's just a point. Still have more player props for the card tonight. Oh, in fact, shit. That just made me think of one. It made me think of one I wanted to look at. My bad. My bad. I want to see if I want to get to this RBI. Yeah, we'll take this RBI too. So we'll add another play here. Hang on just a second. Let me get this going Player prop kind of night when you got a small card. That's what you got to do, but maybe this will help you guys with a same game parlay. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is my nose has been running all day. Spent some time cleaning out a basement. So far, I've dodged COVID. Hopefully, it stays that way. Okay. Let's go, you guys. Appreciate everybody dropping in. Jay Peasy renewing his membership. Appreciate the support, my brother. Damon Waring's ready to roll. He says, what do you think about Jacksonville State money line tonight? Yeah. Look. Shit's real now, Delaware. Yeah, you're a good FCS school. Yeah, you came out there and you were thumping in the FBS, but you just took a bad loss to Western Kentucky. And Western Kentucky, that loss didn't age very well, did it? Did it? And Jacksonville State's 2-0 in the conference, ready to go fuck? Yeah. I'll talk about that game. I guess I kind of just did. We'll be quick. We'll be quick tonight. Damon Waring says Delaware is a pretty good team, but down on the road, this is a spot for Jacksonville State. Yeah, I thought about the initial. All right, listen, let's talk about it right now while we're here. The fuck. Somebody gonna tell me I can't? It's my fucking show. I only mean that in jest. It's funny. I think it's funny. Anyhow, look. 3.5 is the line, 53% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the Fighting Blue Hens. And yet the lines come down from 3.5 to 3s. They're even seeing 2.5s out there right now. That's what they call a red fucking flag, an RFF. We're going to get an RF. I'm going to get an RFF button. By the way, are seeking requests. If you guys have recommendations for video clips, get them to us. DM me on Twitter. Put them in the comments here in the videos afterwards. I'll go search. I'll go see if we can find some funny shit that we can all laugh at while we're having some drinks. Live betting on some sports. But I think when it comes to this spot here, look, the level of competition is going to get bigger. Jacksonville State, yes, they're 3-3. They're unbeaten in the conference. And Delaware State coming off that tough loss. And, you know, for Delaware State, you mentioned it being on the road in the FBS for the first time. I mean, this isn't a great spot for them by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll talk more about it. But I think it's a great breakdown that you made there, Damon. Joe W's here. There's my guy, Wine Time Sports. What's up, Wine Time? Hope you're doing well, my friend. See you doing the thing, kicking ass and taking names, brother. It's good to see you supporting us here. Love my guy, Wine Time Sports. Pachico de Gallo. I was calling you out on the Kansas City game the other night. I didn't think I saw you in the chat. I wasn't calling you out in a bad way. I just kept, every time they saw Pacheco, I kept saying, Pacheco de Gallo. I don't know if anybody got it but me. I don't know. It was funny. I thought it was funny. You know, when I get a few cocktails and I say the same thing over and over, that's funny. Peter Gracia, what up? Nasty Nate had a nice parlay last night. Nice job, Nasty Nate. Nasty Nate used the information that we talked about on the show yesterday, and he did it at a big plus money spot. That's what Nasty Nate did last night. Last night, remember yesterday's show? It's all about education. They don't want us to educate you. They get mad. They think if we share too much, you guys don't need us. You don't need to watch the shows. I say, fuck that. Let's work together to beat the books. The more you know, the more we share ideas together, the more likely we are to ensure that we catch every winning opportunity that comes across the pike. That being said, we talked about the favorites, not the puck lines. In fact, if you look at the NHL yesterday, puck lines and favorites across the board. We had, what did we have? Vegas Golden Knights. Their favorite was against Calgary. They covered the puck line. Toronto. That was a bad spot, though. Covered the puck line, but it was a favorite. Favorites have been stopping. Canadians were a favorite. Oilers were a favorite. Capitals were, I don't think they closed as a favorite, but they were close. Stars were a favorite. Hurricanes were a favorite. Ducks were a favorite. Talked about it. The favorites are winning at a high rate, but they're not necessarily covering the puck lines. Last night there was a little bit more puck lineage, but anyhow, nice job, Nasty Nate, getting the cash, my man. Taking the information, getting creative. I wish you would have sent it to me. That's Damon Waring says, Detroit Wings knock off the Panthers? ? Fight Dallas. I want to jump in some of these chats with these fucking guys that talk some bullshit. And I'm like, I just don't want to I don't want to get the trolls out of the woodwork for these fucking shows. I don't need any, I love it though. Stop Geoengineering's checking in with us. Tech B got paid with Dana yesterday, except for Juan the Bun. Yeah. It was good though. It was a fun 10 more weeks in the books there. 2 years of Dana White Contender Series. That's how old this channel's getting. Blackhawks plus 1.5 for Damon wearing the Skunt Blaster Scuntbag Play of the Day. It's in. Scuntbag Play of the Day is ready. Here it is. It's the Red Wings. It's the Moneyline. It's the Scuntbag Play of the Day. Shout out to you, Skunt Blaster. Nasty Nate, Panthers, Blues, and the Mammoth. Sabres puck line. Oh. Sneaky little. Is that a plus 1.5 Sabres puck line? Is that what that is? I'd assume so. Only because they're flirting. Minus 110 to minus 105. Ooh. That's not something we do very often. I was busy today. I told you guys I was fucking grinding. In the other room, grinding. Damon Waring says, I want to take the Blackhawks money line. I like that thought process. Bo Jackson. As soon as the Canadians tied it up 4, I cashed out. Oh, dude. Oh, man, that's a smart move, Bo Jackson. I look at those cash outs sometimes when it's tricky like that towards the end, and it's like they're taking like 12 or 14% still against the bet, and I'm like too selfish to be like, nope, I made it this far. And then I live bet him again in fucking overtime. Worst part about live betting him in overtime, and I see somebody else commented on this. There it is, Peter Gracia. Bet cost averaging. It's terrible bet cost averaging. I got him at what? Plus 135 pre-flop. I think it was minus 110 in the game. So I actually took my plus 135 down to what? 122, something like that. Overall, in the aggregate. In the aggregate, as Jonah Hill liked to say in Moneyball. David's in the house. He says, big money, Mike. Casey Conan says, I gave you the thumbs up, Mike. Appreciate that. Casey. Rose Miller says, hit the like button. Hit the motherfucking thanks. Casey says, don't be a jerk. When I say jerk, I mean asshole. Chris Benriquez, NHL and NBA is almost fully here. Ken Wood, what's up, Mike? How do you feel about the Panthers money line and over 4.5 alternate totals? Talk about that one here in just a momento. We're going to end the show pretty quickly today, so our guys got some time to get on and get rolling. Peter Grassi says, bet like it's a mutual fund. Broad range of betting diversification. I like it. That's how I roll. Vitalis likes the RFF. Phil the Kill's got Gunther. 4 shots on goal. 4 plus, I'm assuming, at plus 124. Nasty Nate wants to know who the ribeye is. That's what I just added. Pacheco de Gallo says, I knocked out during the middle of that game. Phil the Kill says, I kept saying Pacheco de Gallo. The Pimp Slap School might give the wrong impression. It's true. It's true, Phil the Kill. Jay Main in the house. Gary Frank, what's up, Gary? Nasty Nate says, Kenny Odom, first touchdown scorer. Trevor Davis says the Blue Jays on the reverse line. First 5. Minus 1.5 first 5. Is that the play? Is that the play? Huh. All right. Well, we covered some action already. Let's get to it. Let's talk some more action. Let's dig into this Ottawa game. How about that? Ottawa. Oops, hang on just a second. Let me get this up. Not that. This. Okay. And I got to pull this up too. Bear with me. Technical difficulties here. That's not technical difficulties, just me being slow. This is a tricky spot today. Levi Marilinen will be the goaltender to start for the Ottawa Senators. They ran the tread off of Linus Ullmark already. Of course, they brought Ullmark in the trade from Boston. And Marilinen will get his first start for the year. So, young guy. 12 starts last year. He went 8-3-1. Not bad. Not bad at all. And look, no argument. The Sabres are struggling to score. Alex Leon will be the goaltender to start for the Sabres side of things with an 0-3. Whoa. I want to get that flag. That's an RFF right there. So if the Sabres are getting outscored 10-2. Can't win games if you can't score baskets or biscuits. Biscuit in the basket, I guess is what I'm trying to say when it comes down to it. But honestly, I looked at this one and I thought the line was odd. So I told you I think he's going to win this game. And I told you I like Tage Thompson as the goal scorer. Now, his price tag's not it's not glorious. So this is where I was talking to you guys the other day about when do we find the time to player prep these things out, and I'll slap them together in a parlay like this because it pays out 6-1. Buffalo Sabres are 27-5 as a home dog on the puck line against conference opponents. But it's juicy, minus 235. So you either got to swing for the Sabres or you take a look and see what's it going to take for me to get you on this under. Now, I'll say this. Buffalo Sabres at home after a home game. The old run them back, no change in location, at home, sleeping in your own bed, home cooking, whatever you want to call it. Keeping an eye on your girlfriend, making sure she ain't doing things she shouldn't be doing. They're 8-0. When they can sleep easy at night, they are 8-0 that following spot. So I think they're telling you the Sabres are going to come out with this game. To me, it's the under. Now, look, the under to me was the more compelling piece for the show here today. You may have found if you were over on Winnable. You found a side. Hint, hint. But, this one came down to me just as some of the X's and the O's. You look at these two teams, where'd it go? There it is. Buffalo Sabres, 8-0 to the under when the total's more than a 5.5. And they beat the team by 2 or more goals the previous meeting. So it's a rematch versus revenge situation. Very typically speaking, you clamp down and play some defense that second time around. And they're averaging 4.7 goals a game in those spots. It intersects one of my favorites. You guys know when we're between the numbers. This one's a little wider, so it does give us a little latitude here. But the Senators, between the 160s, if they've been getting outscored by 3 goals in their previous 2 games, are 10-0 to the under. Think about it. They're not expected to blow the team out. They're not scoring goals. Yeah. They're probably not expecting to blow the team out because they're not scoring anyways, and they're not expecting goals, and they're not scoring. They're averaging 4.1 goals a game in those spots, by the way. Crazy thing to think about when it comes down to it. But, to me, if they're in the rematch spot versus the revenge spot versus their conference opponents, they're 11-0 if they lost by multiple goals in that spot as well. So not only are the Sabres in that rematch revenge under spot, but so are the Senators. And so I just thought this is, despite what you see on the surface with goaltending, they opened this number at 6.5. It is coming down. So there's a whole bevy of plays to get involved with on that side of things. Robert Franklin likes Utah. Peter Grassi says Martin Robert Perrault, Sabres Classics, LOL. Trip Carroll says, Mikey, you think Brinkett and Reinhart are good for 2 shots on goal each? Got a parlay from yesterday, and that's all I need. Yeah, I don't see why not. 2? 2's that magic number. It's when it's got to get to 3 that it's always a little dicey, But yeah, I think you get there. I wish you luck, my friend. All right. Onward, upward, backward, sideways. I rolled another parlay together. Call it the square as fuck parlay of the day. Sharp Perspective betting report came in. They were hammering away on these 2. Hammer. Biggest 2 play. Now, if you look at the circumstances, maybe we can ascertain the situation here. Oh, you know what? I forgot this one. I didn't have a graphic for this one. I'm going to take the Red Wings tonight. I'm going to get my action in on this Red Wing spot tonight. Florida. Roadie. They're in an over position, by the way. When they're road favorites, the Florida Panthers are 9-0 to the over. I thought that was a compelling number. Florida likes to score on the road as a favorite. They got a 5.5 out there. So they're expecting a lower scoring game, and the Florida games go over is kind of where I started looking at this game. But, man, the Red Wings just slayed the dragon. Their arch nemesis. They had a 1-24 streak going out there. They called it the curse streak, and it was the situation where the Red Wings were cursed against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they went and cracked him in the jaw twice. Not once, but twice. In back-to-backs, by the way. So you played Montreal. You took the L to start the season. I tell you what, I've said this at the end of last year. Let it be on record. The last third of the season, I kept betting the Blackhawks, the Red Wings, because I said it before, and I don't want to be a broken record. With the talent level you have and your high expected scoring opportunities not going in the net, that turns around at some point. Now, if you're the Buffalo Sabres, it might take 10 years to turn around. But once it turns around, she's rolling down the tracks. And so, from that vantage point here, I looked at this Red Wings team and I thought, well, what the fuck? Do the Panthers really care? They just lost to Philly. They started the season off at home, but look, they beat Philly. They beat Chicago. They did beat Ottawa. But I think Sabres are going to beat Ottawa. So take that for what it's worth if you want to play the ladder game. Now, from a goaltending perspective, we should talk about who's in that. So let's take a look. Sergei Bobrovsky, they're number one. They're goat in the hole. And then Cam Talbot on the other side. It's interesting. So I mentioned Leon, who's playing for Buffalo now. And he played for Philly. And then he was so bad, even though Philly needed goaltending, he was so bad, they just let him go. And Detroit picked him up. So Detroit, recognizing in the offseason that they had to make some movement in goaltending, Shitcan Leon, John Gibson, probably supposed to be their starter. He got punked on that Montreal game. It was 5-1 final. It wasn't even as close as it sounded. And it didn't sound close at all. So they're going to go to Talbot. And Talbot's 2-0 since they decided to yank this other guy out of there. And he's old. He's old, but he's good. He's effective. 2.11 goals against average, 92.5% save percentage. So, the problem is you look at this potential bounce back Panthers spot, but the Red Wings are looking pretty good right now. And I do think that this is one of them situations where you're catching the home team as a dog. That's always been a profitable spot. And we know that they're covering puck lines, so we just need them to get one more in the right direction. So Chris thinks is asking, is Florida over 2.5 goals a good bet? I don't see why not. I just told you about the Florida over trends. So sure. And Cam Talbot's 38 years old and he's the backup. I don't think they win this one dicey 3-1. I think it's like a 5-4 type of situation. I just thought this is a good spot for the extract plus money. David Wall says it's plus 130 at DK now. Okay. Getting even better number. Getting even better. And then I showed you guys this one. Calgary's struggling right now. And St. Louis is looking good right now. So also it kind of correlates to my player prop parlay. That's what I was saying at the start of the show. Is this one of them situations where I'm like a dick, like, well, I think they're going to win, so let me put Tage Thompson as the goal scorer. Well, no, I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that. His shots on goal. And then the points per game and the average between the other two players here for the triple P. But I'll parlay these two together. I gave out a parlay last night for the Win Club that was Dallas, Vegas, and Carolina. It's free money. It's like, what was it, 3-1 or something like that. So I'm okay with it. Favorites have been winning. They won all the card yesterday. Hopefully that's not the case today, but hopefully these two find the victory. Okay. Also, well, look, I have a straight play in this game as well. Look, it doesn't even make sense to say that there. Why would you say that there? So I got the square S parlay of the day, plus 107. I like St. Louis over 6. If you were asking me which of these two would I, or why not take them in regulation, I don't think you take enough of the juice down. And I think that the best way to extract plus money out of those two guys is to just take the whole game. You know, Chicago and Teravainen are fucking fierce right now. Not Connor Bedard. But, yeah. I mean, look, the Mammoth are 1-2. They got their home opener tonight. I'll probably watch the beginning of that. I'll probably look to see what kind of charade show they put together for the Mammoth and the Flames. But I think it's a good spot for these two They're chalky as fuck anyways. Minus 240 for St. Louis, minus 225 for Utah. The play that I want to get involved with here, though, with you guys right now on this show happens to look to the over. Looking to goals being scored. The Blues, when they play a team on short rest, and they were a conference dog the previous game, they're 9-0 to the over. They're averaging 7.4 total goals per game in those spots. That's a big number. That's a big chunk on a 6 that's even money right now. And the Blackhawks are 12-0 to the over when they're in the dog revenge mode. They had to get 4 or more assists against the team that had multiple penalties. So in other words, they were hot dogging. And they were hot dogging because they were finding the open man, threading the needle, and scoring an average of 7.8 total goals per game as well. Margin of almost 2 goals a pop for plus money, even money is just too good for me to pass up. And so I will take the St. Louis Blues. I will take the over 6. The Brinket, says Trip Carroll. David Wallace is plus 130. J Main says, are they taking money? I mean, I can tell you right now that 14% of the bet, I just might have got a shit number because I see the 132. 14% of the bets and 25% of the cash are on the Red Wings. I know we don't talk about it a lot, but you're asking, so I'll tell you. I got my number at FanDuel. I wonder how true this is. Why is it showing plus 185 right now on my index? Yeah, it is plus 130. Okay. Those games will pop off at 7:10. So I'm going to give you guys the overlook in this one. Again, it's a short slate. So that's why I kind of swung up with some of these props. And not every day that we get the treat of looking for player props, but not every day we have 6 games on the card either. So, and then last but not least, you're probably sitting there going, well, you already gave us this parlay. I did. But I've got a player prop in this game as well. Not to mention the one I already gave you guys in the triple P. But I'm going to go to Vejmelka. Over 23.5 saves. One, I told you right now that the Calgary Flames are struggling to score. They've got Devin Cooley, who will start in goal. And this is Devin Cooley, first start of the season. So he did debut last year. He did have a 5 goals against average. But, man, on the other side of things, you got a sub 2 already for Karl Vejmelka. And it's the opener for the Mammoth. So 91.8% save percentage for this young feller. Check is the check of nature. Flames have been outscored 19-6 in their first 4 games of the season. It's really impressive when you think about just how bad those teams are. But for me, I looked at Vejmelka, and I thought, look, he's got a sub 2 GAA. Flames are on back-to-back nights, so maybe they're going to be just a tad tired. I know it's early in the season, but still, when it comes to goalie save performance, Mammoth should come out, score early. It's their home opener, and then I'm hoping they park the bus and kind of sit on it and just do their best to defend Vejmelka and keep him sub 2 goaltending ERA or GAA. Wonder how many more times I'll do that. Also, this got a ton of steam today. This might be, well, I don't know about I don't want to say that. I don't know if it's the number 1 steamed spot or not, but it was plus money earlier today. It's crazy to see some of the movement when it comes to these player props, but that's the way we're going to attack this one. I'm going to add this player prop to it. So look, it's a bevy of hockey games today. We've got the player prop parlay. We've got some plus money dogs. We got a parlay in there. I think they were all reasonably calculated decisions. In fact, the shittiest play of all is the Vejmelka over 23.5 saves. Vejmelka over 23.5 saves is minus 110. So if all goes well, and that's the shittiest play we have on the night, I think we're going to be just fine. Personally. Okay. Let's go on to some college football. I already talked to you guys about this game. I just think it's getting real for Delaware right now. And I'll give you the splits. I'll give you the splits. So they pull them up. Every time I send the internet a command and it doesn't move, I'm like, is everything working? Did they get me again? So 53% of the bets, 79% of the cash. Coming in on the Fighting Blue Hens. Total started at 57.5. It's moved to 56.5 most of the day. Now it's moved to 55.5. 44% of the bets, 71% of the cash are on the over. Over action, drop down 2 points. I think the under is prevailing in this one because of the style of game plan that we see from a team like Jacksonville State. Meaning, they like to run the ball. They're a ground and pound offense. And that's why they are able, in my opinion, to go out there and cover the spread. I told you, I think this is that shit got real time. Delaware, welcome to the show. You just got busted up. You got busted up in a loss that didn't age well. And yeah, they're covering spreads, but like, you're on the road now on top of that. You guys already talked about it. Jacksonville State with 3 wins. Murray State was one of them, a 2-point win over a shitty Sam Houston, and they beat an FCS school. So this is sloppy football. Do you prefer it over Maction? I don't know. Let me think. Yeah. Why? Because every time Buffalo plays a Maction game, I can't bet on it through my local or through my legal books. I got to go to the locals, which I don't mind doing. I just can't get enough down to make my hair stand up. So, Jacksonville State, though, I think defensively, Delaware is going to have a tough time through the rest of this conference stopping a sneeze, let alone, a top 35 offense and finishing drives in Jacksonville State. To me, that just means you keep. So think about it. They're a running team that's ranking top 35 of all college football in moving and finishing drives. The chains are a-moving, and what happens in trench warfare? We talked about it with FIU, and it came to fruition last night. As long as you have a semblance of a defense, probably going to be okay. So we'll take some Jacksonville State in this first game. Second game I got on deck for you guys. I'm rolling in. We got 2 college football games. Why the fuck not? UTEP and Bearcats. There's that Sam Houston team. What a shit team. Man, they probably end up winning this game tonight, though, because UTEP, the Miners. I bet on the Miners last year, like week 3 or 4. I can't remember which. And I remember saying, I think I was talking to MMA Jeff, and I was like, I'll never bet on these fucking guys again. It was so bad. 46% of the bets, 66% of the cash on them. And I watched it, too. If it's a winning game, I'll kind of move on to the other ones. And then I kind of punish myself by making myself watch the shitty games, the losers. This is what you did. Now you got to own it. And anyhow, 46 and 66 on the Miners. It's moved a lot. It's moved from plus 6.5 to minus 3.5. So there you go. 45.5's moved up a full point. 58% of the bets, only 39% of the cash on the Miners. I always take a hard look at the public not being the most educated people in the world. Doesn't mean they can't win, and people like to say the public wins too. I got it. I get it. I think we all get it. But the public doesn't win enough. What's the public win? 35% of the bets, which means Vegas is winning 65% of the time. So if not you guys, I don't want to say our community. I told you guys earlier this week, there's some shitto that wanted to get a poll out there so he could see what the public was on, and his community was the public. Meanwhile, I'm telling you guys to go look at our polls because our polls are crushing it at a high rate because we're so goddamn sharp. You guys are so damn sharp, which makes me got to step my game up. That being said, as you look at this game, you look at this UTEP team, I guess to me, this comes down to they're both shitty offenses. What are you going to do? They're both bad at finishing drives. They're both bad at any type of quality and sustainability in their drives. UTEP's defense can get out there and kind of get off the line pretty quickly and create some, they call them havoc situations out there. I would have to go dog or pass on the side for this game, but I got to get involved. I got to get me involved in this one here. Look, bottom line it with you guys with this team, both these teams. I mentioned how bad their offenses are. Well, let's talk about it. 129th nationally in offense, expected efficient plays against plays being thrown. They're bad. 129th. There's what, 130? Is there 135 or 140 teams in college football? That's pretty fucking bad offensively. They can't run. They can't pass. They can't walk and chew gum is what's happening with this Bearcats team. And UTEP, they're averaging 18.7 points a game. That's good enough to be number 120 in college football. So they do actually in total yards per game. They're a little bit better. They're ranked 118th nationally. 135 teams. Their offense expected production against the play ranks 133. So you got a team that ranks 129th and a team that ranks 133. And we got the red fucking flag. So you decide what you want to do with this game. I like dog or pass. You know, Sam Houston only gets 17 points a game. That's good enough to be all of 127th in college football, but I think the points were two shit teams, especially the home team, and the public dummied it up to the +3 for us. Seems like I need to add. You know what? I just talked myself into adding. I get 3.5 at FanDuel right now. Let me just make sure I can lock that in. I just talked myself into this shit. Shit team, shit game, shit spot. So I guess I'm dog on both spots. Sam Houston +3.5. If I had any balls, I'd play the money line as well. We parlayed both money lines. Guess we don't need to get that cute with it. Just take her and run with it. Okay. Last game on the card. We'll get a couple minutes here, and then we'll get our guy Sean Fox teed up and ready to come at you guys live. Jerry Davis says the defenses are bad too. True. But bad against bad conferences, bad offenses. I think the defense reigns true. Defenses travel on top of that. So, yeah. Hey, they're all shit games, but better than no games. And, you know, sometimes I don't mind. It's especially when I got a night like tonight where I got to get involved with the UFC and we got to get scheduling set up and everything else. I don't mind having these little burnout games on TV so I can kind of keep my eyes on them. But they're not action-packed, so I don't feel like I'm missing anything either. Just want to get some cash, man. Nasty Nate's got Odom first touchdown, +1,000. 10-1 for Nasty Nate with Odom. I wish I could play a prop. All right, last game I got, and then we will shut down, put the bow on the show, and let Sean Fox get in here, get ready, get set, and get going. Make sure you guys check it out and see what he has to offer tonight in the lines of his player props. Sides, totals, and everything else that goes into it. They'll talk college football. They'll talk the NFL. They'll talk it all. You're going to hear about it all from them boys. They are not afraid to share their opinion. And it'll be fun. Fun show tonight. So check it out. See what them fellas are doing. Game number 3, numero 3. Line open at +102. Line is now +110. 56% of the bets and 71% of the cash are on the Toronto Blue Jays. There you go. Sharp bets. I agree. The problem I have is the Mariners. There's a game 3 trend where you were the dog and now you come back home and you're the favorite. And it's 9-1 in its last 10 and it's 13-1 in its last 14. So in game 3, this particular situation, total open at 6.5. It's moved to 7. 81% of the bets, 64% of the cash. I got a bevy of plays because it's player prop night. We got 6 games on the card. It's player prop night. 7 games on the card. And I've forgotten somewhere. Pitching matchup. Jorge Kirby, 2.70 ERA. Shane Bieber, Justin Bieber, brought in at the deadline. Certainly the fresher of the two arms. They need him. Do or die. I like Toronto in this. I just like the zigzag theory. I mean, some people are saying that they're done, and if they lose tonight, I'll take them for game 4. I don't see them getting swept. Kirby's been playing great postseason baseball right now. 3 earned runs in 10 innings, 14 strikeouts. So why do I think about under 4.5 Ks? Because the plate discipline has still been there for Toronto. They're the number 1 team in baseball, lowest strikeout factor of any team in the postseason. They're disciplined, and it's because of guys like Vladdy Guerrero. So as much as I don't expect Kirby to be the under when it comes to his outs, I don't see him going past 5 innings. And I'd be surprised if he racks up more than 3 strikeouts. There's another one that started at plus 120 today and got steamed. A number of people saw it the same way I did. Makes me a little nervous, but it's player prop. We want to follow the steam a little bit on these player props. Now, when they move it to 3.5, I still like the 4.5. And look, you guys know the lineup. You know the cast of characters. We nailed that Vladdy Guerrero RBI. So when I was looking at the card today, I thought, why the hell not? Let's see if we can't come up with another plus 180 price tag. The difference here is I think that we've seen so many unders that the book started pricing all these things as unders. And that's where I think we can exploit the opportunity here, because I think overs. I think this is an over type of stadium right now this time of year. Should have a hitter-friendly ballpark. Wind coming in slightly, but it's negligible. It's like 4.5 miles an hour. Santander would be a guy that I looked out there to beat up Kirby. He's got a 400, 15 at-bats, 6 hits, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. But Julio Rodriguez against, look, Shane Bieber, he's only got a 111. Julio Rodriguez is a 271 against righties. So has it been Bieber shutting him down, or he just due to go out there and smash? And Bieber gives it up 300 against righties, 150 against lefties. Julio Rodriguez is the best hitter on their team at home as well. So I like a J-Rod. Give me a J-Rod RBI at plus 180. That'll be the way we put the bow on the show, you guys. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you, my friend. Nasty Nate says, Odom. Trisha M's in the house. What's up, Trisha M? Evening, folks. No disrespect to Mr. Fox, but Mike, tell the truth on his 7 p.m. cutoff. Sneaky suspicion he's got plans to watch a Reese on that catwalk. Is she going tonight? I will be watching her on the catwalk tonight. I didn't realize that was tonight. Shout out to Trisha M. Jerry Davis says Dodgers and Mariners are in 84% spots for the series. Yeah. I still think Toronto wins, guys. Have a great night. Good luck with all your sports betting action. Make sure you leave a comment post-show. If you have any video suggestions you want to see out there, let me hear them. Let's know. Let me go to research them, see if I can pull the clips down and share them when we do celebrate our winning bets. You guys have a great night. Good luck, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. The morning steam, 9 a.m. Pre-gaming, 6 p.m. And don't forget to check out the UFC 3 picks. Undefeated last week goes the squad. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 3-0. Let's go if we can see if we can do it again. Good luck, everybody. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.